I'm Mike McNamara, and I would like to welcome you to Waza Africa TV. Previously on the West Coast South Africa expedition, we visited the beautiful and picturesque guest farm, Klein Pella. Then the Namakwa National Park and Groen Rivermont. In this episode, we travel south from Groen Rivermont to Papkuilsfontein Guest Farm near New Ville in the Northern Cape for a weekend of four-wheel driving and enjoying the company of some members of the Cape Land Rover Club. We have special dispensation to join them as we don't have a Land Rover. But our travelling companions Bernard and Guy do. We left at 9:30 and headed southeast to the guest farm, travelling towards the Cedarburg mountain area. We stopped for food in Van Reinsdorp and took a picture of the beautiful church there. Then it was over the Van Reins Pass, originally built in 1880 and rebuilt in 1962. It's quite a climb with steep drop-offs and spectacular views, especially from the top. It is just under 9 kilometres in length and climbs to a summit of 815 metres. This is amongst the top 10 passes of the Northern Cape and is a must-drive, offering grand views, tight chicane-style corners and lots of variety. The drive didn't disappoint. We arrived at Papkuilsfontein and checked in and drove to the campsite 3 kilometres from the farm. The guest farm has some beautiful accommodation which includes a number of stone cottages. It also has a farm kitchen where pre-booked homemade meals are prepared and breakfasts are served for non-self-catering guests. They also have a variety of homemade products, braai packs and wood for sale. See the website link below in the description and the contact details. The campsite is in the middle of the veld, surrounded by thick bush. There is no electricity here, but there is a small but perfectly good ablution block. When the club members arrived, there were 8 vehicles and 17 people. Some of them had rooftop tents, others had roofs that popped up, and like us, the rest had freestanding tents. A large communal fire was lit in the Lapa area, and everyone sat around and cooked their own food. As the sun went down, we all sat and ate, had a few drinks and chatted. Lots of laughs and good to meet everybody. We left for our 4x4 adventure around 10, driving across the veld, up steep rocky mountain slopes and through canyons. I went with them to film, but not in our Toyota. I caught a lift with one of the club members in their Defender. I made a separate video for the Cape Land Rover Club, which you can watch on this channel. The trail was fairly difficult and challenging, but nothing can stop these guys. When we reached the top, the views were incredible. We stopped for lunch. A bit of maintenance also had to be done on one of the landies, but this was nothing serious and it got sorted.
Other thing we can do is we can use a tie strap as well. Or making a plan. Yeah, have a look at this. Just tie it.
Before we started on our way back, we took in the amazing views this place has to offer. The Urock Canyon in the reserve was outstanding. The canyon is situated in the Table Mountain Fine-Boss area of the farm. The descent was as tricky as the ascent, but we all got through it. We also visited the new Ville waterfall. It is 90 metres high and is a spectacular sight when the water thunders down into the deep pool during the rainy season. Absolutely stunning. Whilst we were driving around, we couldn't help notice that the veldt was carpeted with flowers. This area is known as the bulb capital of the world, as it has the highest speciation of indigenous bulbous flowers on Earth. It was a long day, and when we got back, we had a braai around the fire and some analysis of the events that took place. We were introduced to the idea of strafdops. These are penalty or punishment drinks awarded for bad driving or any other transgressions, real or imagined, throughout the weekend. A couple of people had theirs awarded on this evening as they were leaving the next day. The rest will get theirs the final evening. At these 4x4 weekends, the second day is often a trip to somewhere interesting locally, not necessarily a 4x4 drive. Today we were off to the Querry or Querry Forest. This was a beautiful scenic drive through nearby hills and fields. We finished at the Querry Forest and then went back to New Ville for lunch and to explore the area. The village of New Ville lies on the Bockerveld Plateau, where the Cape Fynbos meets the Hantem Karoo, Bosmanland and the Kneusvlakte. In the town is a neo-Gothic sandstone church which is a national monument. It is one of the few remaining early dressed Tafelberg sandstone churches in the country. The first stones were laid in 1906 and it was finally opened in 1907. After lunch, the group split up and the people decided to do different things. We went to investigate the Hantem National Botanical Gardens. This place used to be a farm called Glen Lion and owned by Neil McGregor. His style of farming allowed the balance of nature to prevail and biodiversity to return. Several exciting projects took place here, and as far back as 1960, Neil began a flower bus ride around the farm, keeping cars off the land whilst allowing people to view the delights of the flowers. The BBC and Sir David Attenborough discovered the farm during the early 90s. It was filmed as part of the TV series The Private Life of Plants. The director of Kew Gardens was also heard to comment that this farm is a botanical treasure of international importance. The farm was eventually sold to the South African National Biodiversity Institute in 2007. Today, a series of 9 walks stretch across its length of over 6,000 hectares on several portions of land. Almost 40% of the flora are bulbs. but they are large patches of rhinosterfelt, fine boss and succulent karoo. Peak season is between August and mid-October, but if it's been a good year, the bulbs will be in evidence as early as the first rains in March-April. This is truly a magical place and well worth a visit. For bookings and more information, look down in the description below. On our last evening, we once again had a large campfire and cooked some food, had a few drinks and recalled the weekend's events. More strafftops for various transgressions were dealt out. We had one each for daring to bring a Toyota on this trip. Others were awarded for dodgy driving, wearing white trousers, and other dubious charges. All good things have to come to an end, and it's time to move on after an amazing weekend with some lovely people. In the next episode, we'll be travelling the long road to the Karoo National Park near Beaufort West for a few days resting and getting our animal fix. I hope you enjoyed this programme. If you did, please like and subscribe. This is Woza Africa TV.